and welcome to another edition of Coitimes, Children of Israel Times in the Days of Prophecy.
This is a great question. Why is training military sheriff's special forces training alongside SWAT and ISO?
Elder Rawchaa is made up Hurricane Martin. That came out of nowhere.
We are building a wall on the southern border, which is absolutely necessary. Believe me, we have to close down our government. We're building that wall.
That's in Revelation 16 and 19 verse.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 19.
Go ahead.
And the great city was divided into three parts.
That great city was divided into three parts. Didn't it say it was a great earthquake before that? Go ahead.
And there were voices and thunders and lightnings. And there was a great earthquake, such as
This is Coitimes, and welcome to another edition of
There was a great
Coitimes,
earthquake.
Children of Israel Times in the Days of Prophecy.
First and foremost, I have to give all glory and praise to AHAYAH, AHAYAH, Bahashem Yeshaya Wakwadash Rawak. Shalom, Israel. You know, I'm Sister Kana. And I want to continue on with this, our infiltration series, talking about what's going on in the Hebrew Israelite community as far as infiltration. Now, the reason why this is so important is because I've been putting out a lot of information about how we've been infiltrated, and, giving examples of this. And this brings me to this time of the year where it kind of all started, for me, when the Most High was showing me things about his calendar. So as we come into the first day of the year, next week will be our New Year. So Happy New Year's, everyone, our Hebrew New Year's. The calendar is very important. So as we start our new year, knowing the first day of the year is very important. And I have to tell you that this is how I stumbled on to the infiltration, was because the Most High had put on my spirit about his calendar. He had sent me to a church that had kept the holy days according to the Hebrew calendar. Now, at that time, I knew nothing. I didn't know anything. I was still under the Christian doctrine. So when he sent me to this church and they were keeping the holy days, I was shocked. But anyway, this is how this all began for me as far as infiltration. Once I started to realize that we were keeping the wrong holy days, I reached out to Elder Rawchaa and asked him, and started asking questions about the holy days and why did we keep why were they keeping the same holy days with the Jewish Khazars? Because I didn't understand that once the Most High had showed me about his holy days in the Bible. And a lot of you know the story. I started to get death threats, hacked, and all kind of messages, and things like that. So this is how this all started for me. Excuse me. The whole process. The Most High woke me up, and it was sweet to know that I was Hebrew Israelite and everything. But once I started to get deep into it, I saw the ugly part of it because of all the, because of all the, bad things that started happening to me once I had started asking questions. So it's important that I point these things out to you, Israel, so that you will understand what's going on and how we are being infiltrated and how this thing happened. Because a lot of people say, oh, where's your proof? Where's your proof? Where's your proof? And they don't understand that our law, keeping the law, is the proof of the infiltration. Because the most that these Edomites and the powers that be don't want Israel to do is come back under the law, statutes, and commandments. Because as we come back to our law, statutes, and commandments, they lose power and dominion over us. So they'll try. That's why there's so much confusion on the internet about what laws to keep. You got all these Hebrew Israelite groups talking different laws. Some believe in reincarnation. Some don't believe the New Testament. Some don't, believe in the baptism, the water baptism. These are our Lord's statutes and commandments. So if you don't know your Lord's statutes and commandments and they're teaching you the wrong laws, you still are violating against the Most High. We still are in sin. And that's how we were able to, we fell. And that's how the nations gained rulership over us. So it's important that you get the correct information. And this is what I was saying in the last video, that it's important that we understand what our laws, statutes, and commandments are so that we can keep them, so we can break this, curse of both of us. And, so, in my spirit, and Most High is telling me I have to inform the people so that they will know, because you won't get this information. Just like you didn't get the Kadesh information. Where's the holy mountain, which is in Jordan? Nobody's going to tell you that. Just like the holy calendar, I had to fight for years, for 5 years before finally Elder Rawchaa came out with the secret of the times. But in that, still, there's always a discrepancy with the calendar. Our holy days are very important. They are the only way we keep, connect with Most High. He said, if you love me, keep my commandments. If you love me, keep my commandments. So if we don't keep the Most High's commandments, that shows to him that we don't love him. It's a sign. He made it as a sign between us and him. So our holy days are very important. Knowing the first day of the year it's all that matters, because you can't keep his holy days if you don't know the first day of the year. So that's why this ongoing I'll say conversation with Elder Rawchaa and back and forth and back. People want to go, you're supposed to speak to your brother in private. I've tried that. I've spoke to brothers in private. I've called brothers. I've spoke to them. I spoke to that brother in New York, years ago for at least an hour and a half, explaining to him what was going on. Nothing. I spoke to Elder Rawchaa several times on different occasions. There's still no, correction or nothing. All I got was death threats and things like that. So I'm going to just say, AHAYAH, AHAYAH, he is going to be the judge, and praise AHAYAH, AHAYAH. That's all I can say. Unfortunately, it is what it is, but, So I'm looking at the calendar. I want to go into looking at the calendar. I'll put the calendar on the screen if you can't see it, but March 10th, that's next week, Saturday sundown, is the last day of the Hebrew calendar. March 10th, Shabbat, at sundown, that is our last day of the Hebrew calendar. March 11th, Sunday, is the first day of the year. That's our Hebrew New Year. Just like we have a 7-day week, and Sunday is the first day of the week, the first day of the year will always be on a Sunday. Now, the discrepancy with the GOCC's calendar is that they tried to put the first on Saturday sundown, and they're playing games. And they know better, but it's throwing the calendar off for one day. If you put one on Saturday, that means the second day would be Sunday. And the whole calendar would be off. And it'll throw us out of our holy days. And see, because our brothers are taken down, the powers that be need always to keep us off from coming back to AHAYAH. He said we must worship him. So knowing how important our holy days are, that's the main point of our existence, because we need to connect back to AHAYAH. He's going to bring us out of captivity, out of America, and bring us down to the holy mountain so we can worship him. We're going to learn how to worship him correctly. And so we have to know how to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments, as well as know his name, as well as know his holy day, when to serve him. So it's very important. And that's how this whole thing started because of me asking questions about the calendar. So here we are. It's a timely, this is a very timely matter, knowing the calendar and knowing the holy days of the Most High and when to start. That first day of the year is our Holy New Year. It's the beginning of the year of all our holy days. If you off one day, you throw all the holy days off. So that's why it's important for me to do this infiltration, continuing, so that you guys can see how important the calendar is for us and why you must make sure those numbers are right. If you go into Elder Rawchá's teaching for the secret of the time, and there's other videos, and I will, I'll play one where he's telling you that Saturday is the last day of the year. Saturday is the last day of the year for us. So that means Sunday is the first day, not Saturday sundown. Even though that starts the new day, the calendar 1 has to be on Sunday. Because if you put it on Saturday 1, it throws the calendar off. So I'm hoping I'm making myself clear. And brothers and sisters, it's important that you make your own calendars. And this would alleviate you depending on anybody to show you what's right or wrong. You need to know this for yourself. The Most High said He's going to put these laws in our inward parts. But you know how the Most High is. He has a lot of mysteries. So you need to know this information. That's how it's going to be in you. Because only those who know what they know are going to get through this. Understand that there's a problem and understand that they need to get up out of Babylon. Okay, so I wanted to just clear that up about the calendar. It starts next week. I pray that you all start learning how to make your own calendars so you don't have to depend on anybody. I put the calendar up for free. I'll give you my website, the Coitimes Hebrew Calendar .blogspot.com, and I'll put this up so that you can see it in the description box. Please check out the calendar. Know that you must know the right days. It's important, Okay, also, and I want to talk about, this ties into our infiltration. This is how you know we are being infiltrated, because our brother, Elder Rawchaa, who came out with the secrets of the times, definitely knows of how to work this calendar. And he knows if he put the one on the Sunday, on the one on Saturday at sundown, it's going to throw the whole calendar off. He knows it. He's the one who broke the scripture down. So there's no reason for this calendar to be off. Sunday is the first day of the week, and it also starts the first day of our Hebrew year. Every year it doesn't change. Okay? Now, in the last video that I did, I went into and I told you how the infiltration happened. That Elder Rawchaa, that our brother, he was married. He's married. He's a married man. And the two sisters, Lara and Vera, shows up to one of his teachings. And I'm going to show you a picture. Elder Rawchaa was wearing his wedding ring when these four women showed up to his teaching. They knew that this brother was married. Everybody in the room knew that Elder Rawchaa is married.
Right now, they're doing the same thing, promoting individualism. Now the women are marching. When really,
that's a disgusting country. My brother was there, and he said all the men sleep together, all of them. He said it's normal. It's normal. My brother was inappropriate.
all the what do what?
All the men sleep together. My brother, rebuilt Iran, was there, and he said it's the most disgusting place. He said part of their unwritten law is that men are for pleasure and women are for children. And the only time they sleep with women is during the monsoon. They said women are like animals. They're not even people. And that's such a horrible country. And I knew a soldier.
What did your brother do?
No lie. Not only that, I knew a soldier who was in Afghanistan. And I was doing witnessing work with the Jehovah's Witness, knocking on doors. And I knocked on his door. And he said he was going to leave for 8 days. And then he said, I'm reading my Bible. And he says the worst thing there in Afghanistan is all the men are gay. And And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, they take the boy in their family, and they make the boy into the woman.
Okay, so now you can actually hear Vera 747 and the other young lady speaking to Elder Rawchaa. Now, we have to give all glory and praise to AHAYAH, because if it had not been for the fact that Vera 747's voice was so distinctive, we would have never been able to kind of, prove or show that she was even down there at a GOCC meeting. But it's the fact that we got to give praise to AHAYAH Bahasham Yeshaya. These kind of small, minute details, usually the CIA, they've been doing this and infiltrating us and doing these kind of things, but they've never been able to get caught at it. For one, we were suffering the curses, but now that we're coming off the curses, the Most High is revealing these kind of things. So we got to praise the Most High, because this is such a small detail, but it's just very telling of the whole situation. Vera and her sister came down to Elder Rawchá's teaching. He was married. He had the ring on his finger, as you can see. So now why is this sister, Lyra, now parading around like his wife? And she, she's been doing it for a very, very long time. It's been for a long time. Now, Elder Rawchaa at the time had just gotten married, so it was a new marriage. He had a baby on the way. They actually took him from his family and, now have him parade around. But there was really no way to really prove this thing. And everybody in the room knew that Elder Rawchaa is married. So how is it today that there's a woman, Lyra, who is parading around as Elder Rawchá's wife? How is this possible? Brothers and sisters, you need to look into this information, because this was how Elder Rawchaa was actually taken down. This is why our information, like the calendar, has been tampered with. And why every year I have to put out a video about our Hebrew calendar. Why? Because Elder Rawchaa is the only one who's coming out with this type of information that's going to get us out of Babylon and into this wilderness. But he has been compromised. And this woman that he's dealing with, that showed up to one of the GOCC meetings, her and her sister, Vera and Lyra, took the brother down. They are CIA agents, and they took this brother down. So all of our information, now I'm not saying everything is wrong, but what they feel that's very important and what they know is very important to us, like our calendar, they are tampering. Also, with the certain laws, there are certain laws like a Hebrew Israelite is not to be married to a Gentile. We are not to marry the Gentiles. It's a law that tells us that if one Hebrew Israelite is married to a Gentile, it puts a curse on the whole entire nation. Now, this is why you will walk into certain Hebrew Israelite functions and see a bunch of Israelites married to Gentiles, because they know that that's breaking our law. They know this. So these are things anybody who's trying to keep our laws and know, you will go walk in and see these kind of things, you will understand that there's infiltration among us. So when you ask for proof, then these are the things you need to look for, the signs. For one, if our holy calendar is being tampered with or given the wrong days, that's a big indication. Two, if you walk in and you see a lot of brothers married and a lot of sisters married to Edomites and Gentiles within our congregations, you know that something is wrong, because as Hebrew Israelites, we are not to marry the Gentiles. You understand? This is how they take us down. And see, Esau is very good at things like this. They will use their women. They will use women of their nation to go in and infiltrate other nations. They have done it in the Bible, and they've been doing it to us still. And as far as it could be, that those sisters, Vera and Lara, they can be Gentiles as well. I know they pass themselves off as tribes of, Israel, Gad, or Indian tribes, Ephraim, and they like to do that because when I was when I came to Jordan, I told you there's a woman who, I felt that she was FBI or something was up with her. She told me she was an Indian, but she was an Edomite. And she had these 2 black daughters. They always will use information pertaining to our law and our book against us. She told me that she was an Indian. You understand? And there's a lot of Hebrews, a lot of Gentiles parading amongst the Hebrew Israelites as Israelites, but they're actually Gentiles. So that would explain why our brother, Elder Rawchaa, will not take a stance on Israelites being married to Gentile within the congregation. He can't. If he's with a Gentile, a woman who looks like she's black, or she looks like she can be Israel, but she really not. He cannot speak against this situation. He's being compromised. That's what's going on here. We are being compromised. So these things, if people want proof, go into our law and look at the proof. Israelites are not to be married to Gentiles. That's a law. That's a curse upon the whole nation if one Israelite does it. If one. So when you walk into a GOCC and see all these heathens and Gentiles married to Israelites, just know that something is very, very wrong. Okay? If our calendar is not correct, something is wrong because they use the law against us. They know our law. And since you're just coming off of your curse and you don't really know, you're trying to get back, they're using your laws against you. And what our elders and teachers don't tell us, we really won't know because we didn't know anyway. Okay? So please, brothers and sisters, I pray that you take heed to what I'm saying. We are in a war right now. People are coming against us and trying to take us out. It's important that you come out of Babylon. Okay, which leads me to Trump. Trump, I've been talking about the wall being built. Okay, he had, and I'll put the video into this, he spoke about that he only needs 1 year to put that wall up. So now a judge just gave him the okay to build the wall. So this is very, very, very important, brothers and sisters. You have about a year to get yourselves up out of Babylon. Now here we are, coming into the first day of our new year. Our Passover is coming. That means by next Passover, if you're still in Babylon, it should be your last Passover. Next year. That's it. You're out of time. And part of this infiltration is no one is telling you where to go. So now not only do you got to rush out of Babylon because you should have got yourself out of there, but the elders haven't been telling you nothing because they're trying to keep you sit still until destruction. Okay? So now you don't know where to go because no one is telling you. There's only one place, brothers and sisters. This is Jordan. Jordan is within the borders of the Most High, and he said that he will protect those who are in his borders, within his borders. You can't go to Iraq. You can't go to Syria. All those places are taken down. Egypt, if you go to Egypt, which you can go to Egypt, but you better be within the borders, not in Alexandria. That's not within the borders. You're outside of the borders still in Alexandria. You have to come within the borders, within Cairo and that area. But just know, just like in the times of our forefathers with Moses, you're going to have to come across that Red Sea. You're going to have to walk across dry shod. And that desert is not a pretty sight. So you don't know what the circumstances are in which you're going to have to come across that desert. So your best bet is to get out, take a plane, and be within the borders in Jordan. Don't be deceived, brothers and sisters. Don't let anybody lie to you and tell you, oh, there's going to be a war. The Most High said you will be safe within my borders. And that's how you know as well that there's infiltration. Because you got our brother telling you, don't go to Jordan. And that's the only place where you actually will be safe. And the scriptures says that. But you have all this confusion because we have been infiltrated. And and I want to mention also as well that there has been a lot of talk about, Jezebel and those kind of things, because, I have to speak up and talk about what's going on. Now it's like they're acting as if I'm against my brothers. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and I love my people, the men of the Most High as well as my sisters. I'm only here to warn and to tell our people what's going on, because the Most High sent me out and I was privy and was able to see certain things. And people like to throw things around and say things indirectly, directly and indirectly. But I just want to put out that Jezebel was a Gentile, and she was actually a daughter of a Zidonite, which is one of the nations, one of the Gentile nations that the Most High told us to stay away from. So for people to try to accuse, people of being a Jezebel, or like just because, you have to speak up or you try to speak, they'll try to make you feel bad or talk bad against you or like you're doing something wrong. But actually Jezebel, her father was the king of the Zidonites, who worshiped Baal. They were a Gentile nation, and she was the daughter. She was a Gentile married to a Hebrew Israelite. First of all, that wasn't right. Had our brothers worshiping Baal. You understand? Does it sound familiar? Here we go. Now, we don't know this situation with Elder Rawchaa. These sisters could very well be Gentiles. And they, like Vera acts like a Gentile. She has a Gentile spirit, and she's married to a Gentile. Now, the sister who is connected with Elder Rawchaa, was sent into that situation. She probably already knows she's a Gentile. But they're doing the work of their fathers. And this is why the Most High told us not to mix with the other nations. This is why Esau is so prevalent about mixed marriages within the United States. All the celebrities are married to Edomites. Any Hebrew Israelite is married to a Edomite. That's most of the cases because they use the law against us. They know as long as we're breaking our laws, it's harder for us to come back to the Most High, and they can continue to rule over us. So in this situation with Elder Rawchaa, this sister knew this brother was married. He had the ring on his finger when she met him, when she went to the teaching. So there was a whole plot for this to get this brother, because they're going to use our brother to work against us. Now that is a Jezebel spirit. And then our brother is acting as Ahab, because he is bringing the whole nation under subjection because of this situation. Now, listen, I have nothing against my brothers at all. But all I'm just pointing out that this situation is such a deadly situation to the children of Israel at a time when we need to be coming out of Babylon and preparing for what is about to happen. The Most High said this is a time like no other time. We don't have time to be sitting around and not preparing. We have to prepare. Now, I understand that brothers feel that they want to still prophesy and save some more people. But That's not what the Most High told us to do. He said, come out of her, my people. And those who flee, lift up your voice. So we should actually be prophesying outside of Babylon. And that people would see us, and because he poured out his spirit, they would have the spirit to come and join you. We don't need to be in that wicked place. Time is up. And, which brings me to one more year. Trump is building that wall. He got the okay by the courts. So as of yesterday, you best believe he's part of that whole Illuminati. He know the children of Israel is waking up. They are building that wall. We got to come out of Babylon. You got to get out of there. Now, you will start to ask your elders. He got the program, Ask the Elders. Ask the elders, when are you leaving? Ask the elders. He knows that the wall is being built. Ask the elders. You got to force these people to move on your behalf. Because if you allow them to sit back and do nothing, that's just what they will do until destructions. I wanted to also go into hand signs. I'm going to give you a list of all the hand signs so that you got to hold our elders accountable. You hold these people accountable because Elder Rawchaa is like, oh, I got to watch everything I do. That's right, Elder Rawchaa. You better watch everything you do because there's people who are working against us. And if you're not with us, you are against us. Okay? So they're Illuminati hand signs. The scripture said that they wink with their eyes, they talk with their feet, and they communicate with their hands. I'll put the scriptures up. If you're not working with us, you're working against us. Since when our brothers got to have all their hands all in their face? Since when? Playing with their lips and all this nonsense? Since when? The nonsense needs to stop, and people are going to be held accountable for what they're doing. It don't make no sense for all the wickedness among the Hebrew Israelite community. This is why we're able to be infiltrated. Because people don't take the responsibility that the Most High has given them that serious. Why is it so hard for you to just sit with your hands down in your lap and communicate with your people? What's this with all these, hands on your mouth and hands on your temple, very feminine movements anyway? I don't know. I have never seen so many people on, watching them on TV or talk shows or anything playing with their lips. Now all of a sudden you just got to have your hands in your face. Especially knowing what the scriptures say. That they wink with their eyes, they talk with their feet, and they use their fingers to teach. No, that's a wicked man, brother. We ain't supposed to do that. Your hand signs are very important, and it's witchcraft. They do things like that to summon demons and all kind of stuff. Oh, you don't know about that? So I want you to, check out, this about the hand signs. So everybody can be accountable. Everybody's going to be accountable because we all are going to stand before the Most High. Everybody's going to stand before the Most High. And for those of you who turn a blind eye to this information and try to act like you don't know what's going on, you're going to answer to the Most High. Because I know, I praise AHAYAH, Bahashem Yeshaya. He didn't send me out for nothing. There was things I had to go through and things like that. And I know AHAYAH is a righteous judge. He didn't send me out for nothing. To stand and talk and do these videos year after year after year. People are going to be accountable for this. Praise AHAYAH. So nobody's going to sit back and be able to say, oh, they didn't know. Because I made sure I spoke. The Most High said spoke. He told me to speak, and I spoke. I made sure I did what I was told. So everybody is going to be accountable. Nobody's going to be able to sit back and go, oh, I didn't know. If you've seen one of my videos, because all of these videos were pertaining to the same thing. I try not to deviate one bit from what the Most High told me to do and what I was supposed to speak. And I was warning you over and over and over all these years. It's been 10 years I've been making these videos. Praise AHAYAH. And everybody who's witnessed it, who've heard me, and if you didn't take into account what I was saying to you, you're going to be accountable to the Most High. I just want to put that out there. Because it's serious to me. And people want to act like it's a joke and it's a game and play. Okay. You're going to deal with them. Let the Most High handle you.
I can build it for less, by the way.
But you want...
I must tell you, I'm looking at these prices. Somebody said 42 billion. This is like the aircraft carrier. It started off at $1.5 billion and it's now at 18 billion. No, we can do it for less. We can do a great job. We can do a great wall, but you need the wall. And I'm now getting involved. I like to build under budget, okay? I like to go under budget ahead of schedule. There's no reason for 7 years also. I heard the other day, please don't do that to me. 7 years to build a wall. We can build the wall in 1 year,
Yes, sir.
and we can build it for much less money than what they're talking about. And any excess funds, and we'll have a lot of, whether it's a Woolman rink or whether it's any, I build under budget, and I build ahead of schedule. There is no reason to ever mention 7 years again, please. I heard that, I said, I wanted to come out with a major news conference, Tom, yesterday. No, they can go up quickly. It can go up effectively, and we can fix a lot of the areas right now that are really satisfactory if we renovate those walls and those fences.
Can you tell us how many miles of wall you're contemplating, whether it's 17 million or that, or 13
Yeah,
million?
we're doing a study on that right now. But there are large areas where you don't need a wall because you have a mountain and you have a river, you have a violent river, and you don't need it, okay?
Senator, how do you
Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Sister Kana, and welcome to another edition of COI Times, Children of Israel Times in the Days of Prophecy.
This is a great question. Quite is training. Military sheriff's now military equipment and then special forces training on SWAT and mines are
God watching devastating is made up for
We are building a wall on the southern border, which is absolutely necessary. Believe me, we have to close down our government. We're building that wall.
I give Revelation 16 and 19 first.
Revelation chapter 16, verse 19.
Go ahead.
And the great city was divided into 3 parts.
That great city was divided into 3 parts. Didn't he say of a great earthquake before that?
Verse 17.
Go ahead.
And there were voices and thunders and lightnings. And there
Shalom,
was a great
brothers and sisters.
earthquake, such as was
This is Sister Kana, and welcome to another edition of
There was
COI
a great
Times,
earthquake.
Children of Israel Times in the Days of Prophecy.